Bam. Okay. Yeah, it actually picked it up today. Cool. Okay. So came through 3:17 p.m. from me to me. Weather and demand, leads and market. Yeah, really cool stuff. And the fun part is here, it's like super easy. Like this is pretty basic. This is just a proof of concept, but you can really start to tweak it. Like, hey, I want to see these 5 competitors. I want them at the very top. I want to see XYZ. And all you have to do that is to tell Claude what to do. Okay, in this video, we're going to go start to finish from creating your first Claude account, downloading what you need to download with the desktop app, some other dependencies and things you'll need, and then making your first automation. If you have a small business, like it could be a little research automated email for you or a daily dashboard that updates. And then we will get that hosted on GitHub Actions, which is a super powerful, free, very generous free service you can use on GitHub to have your stuff run in the cloud so you don't have to be monitoring it daily. It can just run and happen for you. So the very first thing we're going to do, hop over to Claude.ai, make your own Claude account. If you already have this, feel free to skip it. But I'm going to use my consulting email here. So continue with email. Should shoot an email to my Gmail. Yep, there it is. Anthropic's pretty quick with their sign-in codes. Never known to set magic link before. Interesting. Okay, I agree. Create account. For personal use. And then this is the important part. So I don't think the free version, the free version does not come with Claude code. So if you go for the free version, you're not going to be able to do what I'm talking about. The free version is just like a very basic kind of dumb version of the chat. I recommend people go for the pro version first, or if like you're going to be using the slot, just go ahead and get the max. The max plan is pretty awesome. I actually have the $200 a month max plan, and it is super, super powerful. You can do a lot with it, and they subsidize the cost. So if you use like a $200 max plan and you use every credit on the plan, it's equivalent to like $3,000 in API charges or something like that. It's pretty nuts, very generous, very powerful. So go ahead and select one of these. If you just want to get started out, do pro. You're going to burn through usage really quickly if you use some of the more powerful models like I'm going to show in this video. Like Fable will eat your pro plan in like a couple minutes, but it's good to start out and just to see what you can do, or go ahead and go for the max plan and cancel anytime. Okay, so after you've selected your plan, I'm not actually going to go through and pay for that because I don't want to forget about it and have 2 Claude charges hitting my credit card every month. Download the desktop app. This is really important. A lot of people get Claude or, I don't know, have it through their enterprise and use just the chat version, and you're leaving 90% of the value on the table if you just use it in the browser. This isn't ChatGPT, and ChatGPT's improved a lot. But you're going to want to download the desktop app so you can use Claude Code on your computer and do some really cool stuff. So go ahead, click download, go through the steps of installing that. And once it's done, right click and pin it to the taskbar down here. So you're going to be using it a lot. Additionally, just go ahead and get the Claude mobile app and sign in to your new account with the mobile app as well. You can do some really cool things in the mobile app once everything is set up and linked together. Or like if you have a website being hosted on another website, like let's say you make your own company's website on a Vercel account, and we'll talk about what that is later, and you have it linked to your GitHub. Like if you have your Claude mobile app linked to your GitHub account, you can have Claude Code make a change on your mobile app, push it to GitHub, and then the website will rebuild and you can see a change live. It's pretty cool how quickly you can start making changes and editing stuff on the fly. Okay, you now should have Claude Code or your Claude desktop app installed. It's fantastic. Yours will probably look a little more barren than this just because it's brand new, or if you've had Claude for a second, it'll look more like this with the things pinned to the side here, and we'll go over what the stuff is. I'm pretty sure Claude, the first time you install it, jumps straight to the homepage here, and the homepage is just for chat and cowork. And chat and cowork both have their place. They can both do pretty cool things. I use Claude Code a lot for like building actual things. Chat's good though. If you have a quick question, you want to ideate on something, or like you just want to know more about stuff, you can just ask chat. And it's good for basic questions or thinking about stuff. Chat can be weirdly expensive at times. And what I mean by that is like every time you ask the chat a question, it goes and rereads the entire conversation again. And so like every single time a question is asked, all of the tokens that are in that question and the previous questions get reread, and those input tokens can add up. So chat's good for quick questions and thoughts, but that's kind of it. Cowork's pretty powerful. A lot of people use Cowork because you can create PowerPoints, work in Excel, do a lot of stuff in Cowork. And we can cover that more in different videos. This one's primarily focused on code. So go ahead, click code over here, and it should open up to be something like this. Yours might be blank here. It should say like local desktop and some other stuff. The first thing we're going to do is install all the required like dependencies to make this work. So there's a few things we're going to need. So you're going to need Git, Python, and then Node. So Git, Python, and Node. We're going to go grab those online. I'll explain what they are. I already have them installed, so just follow along with me if you have them as well. If not, go ahead and go through this. So you're going to see, if you just search git install in Google, you're going to see git-install. Go ahead, click on that. Depending on which one you have, Windows or Mac, or from the rare people have Linux, go ahead and do that one as well. But go grab Windows, click here to download, or Mac. Mac's a little more complicated. You have to go to the terminal and do this. You have to like enter these commands directly in the terminal. I'm mostly going to be talking to Windows users here, but I can go over the Mac stuff in the future if there's enough demand for that. But Windows, click here to download, go through that process, just click through it. Essentially all Git is like auto save for code. What I mean by that is like think of it like conceptually as it takes snapshots of your code as you're working and it auto saves them. So like if you want to like revert back to a previous version, like let's say you're talking to Claude, you want to make a change to your website, you hate how it looks, and you're like, this is so stupid, go back. You can just revert back to an earlier version of the code, and that works really well. So go ahead, download Git, work through that, just click through it. It's really easy. The next we're going to grab is Python. Python is like the most common coding language in the world right now. It's actually named after Monty Python, which is pretty funny. So if you go Google Python, like download Python, click on it. I'm going to say go and get the Windows one right here. Click on that. I think you can just do the Windows installer 64-bit. Let's click that. Should download it to your computer. Again, click through those processes or these steps. Literally all Python is a coding language that agentic coding tools like Claude or ChatGPT are really good at writing. They love Python because AI is trained off large amounts of data, large amounts of language, and a lot of code on the internet is written in Python. So AI is very good and likes writing Python a lot. So after we're done with that one, let's go grab Node.js. And this is usually required to let Claude Code actually work. Grab Windows. Windows installer. Pre-built Node, 64x architecture. Yep. So if you have a normal Windows computer, go to node.js/en/download, scroll down, Windows installer. Oh, downloaded, my bad. Click on that, click through it. These are just 3 core things you need for Claude Code to work effectively on your computer if you actually want to automate stuff. I promise I'm not trying to get you like any viruses on your computer. These are all open source, super common, like things that every developer needs. Not every developer, but a lot of developers need to do basic work on their computers. So Git, Python, and then Node.js. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is sign up for GitHub. And this is weird because you might be like, oh, I thought I just got Git. You did. You got Git. You didn't get GitHub. So GitHub is essentially think of it like Google Docs for code, where if you have something you're working on your computer and you want other people to collaborate on it or look at it, you can push it up in the cloud here being GitHub. Or in the example, like Google Docs, like anyone can like look at your document stored in the cloud, make edits to it, tweak it, stuff like that. So go ahead, sign up for GitHub. Just go ahead and like fill all the stuff out, make an account. So many developers use GitHub. Like almost everything you see on the internet is stored in GitHub in some way or somewhere, like whether it's an enterprise on-premise account or something like that, it is probably stored in GitHub. So you're going to do that, install GitHub, and then the last thing to install before we start really cooking on this stuff is the GitHub CLI. So GitHub CLI is pretty cool because it is just how Claude, like let's say you have Claude installed on your computer and you make changes to a program and you want those changes to actually take effect without you having to go into GitHub, or like if you want those changes to take effect quickly and easily, you can just have Claude push stuff to GitHub like on its own. It's really easy, really, really effective, and makes your life easier. So winget, yep. So what you're going to do, you're going to copy this code, search PowerShell on your computer. Let me drag that down here. You're going to paste that in there, hit enter, and what it's going to do is going to try to authorize your account. and just make you log in one time. So the GitHub account you just made, you are going to sign in and link the GitHub CLI to the account you just made. So I'm actually going to close that because I don't want to mess up my stuff up. But for first-time users, this is something you have to do. That installer is still running, so hopefully it doesn't break my stuff. Okay, so a couple things you got to download and do there. It was one, sign up for Claude, and then get the Windows app or the Mac app, whatever you have, whatever kind of computer you have. Install Git, install Python, install Node.js, make a GitHub account, and then install the GitHub CLI. So 6 things you had to do there, but these are one-time things. You don't have to do this ever again. You might have to re-sign into GitHub every once in a while, but that's it. So once that stuff's done, you can really start cooking on automations. This is like the hurdle for people that they don't know how to do it unless someone walks them through it. And it's kind of annoying because like this stuff fundamentally isn't hard. It's just there's these little roadblocks that can really trip you up if you don't know what you're doing or if someone doesn't walk you through it. Okay, so all that stuff should be installed. It should be good to go now. Probably like half an hour worth of work there for the first time doing it. But we're back to Claude Code. So you have Claude Code, open your desktop computer. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to act like we own a small HVAC company in, let's say, Durham, North Carolina. It's not where I live right now, but I've lived there before. So let's say I want to make an automation that automatically reviews what competitors in the area are doing or anything relevant locally in the area that HVAC owner would need to know about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to Claude. I have my Claude Code set up. It is working locally on my own computer. That's what this means. It means in the computer, like on my computer in the cloud. This is just the folder. So if you want to work in a certain folder, you can do that, and it should open up. Yeah, it should open up a bunch of options for you. So if I do new folder, and let's say HVAC company example, hit enter, select folder. Claude Code will now be working in this folder. And what that means is essentially Claude Code writes code for your computer. It writes code that lives on your computer. So if I have it make this really cool process, some really cool stuff that runs, it'll be doing it on my computer until we decide to push it up to GitHub. And that'll make more sense later, the difference there. But I have it set up on my computer. This will be cool. And then over here, models are the different types of AI models you can pick within Claude Code. And Fable is an absolute beast and is my favorite AI that's ever come out. It's super powerful. It does things really quick. It's really smart. There's Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku as well. Opus is also a pretty good model. Opus 5, not so much. Opus 4.8, I think, is much better than 5. Sonnet's a decent workhorse if you tell it exactly what to do. And Haiku is pretty dumb. Just stay away from that. But essentially, think of these in expense order. Fable being the most expensive, Opus second most, Sonnet second least, then Haiku being the cheapest. And the expense usually correlates with the performance as well. There's also this misunderstanding that, use a cheaper model, you'll save on tokens, it'll be cheaper for you. You have to think of it as a cost per completing the task. So if Fable can one-shot a task and giving it in 2 minutes, it's done. Even though the tokens might have been more expensive for those 2 minutes, if it does it far faster than, let's say, Opus or Sonnet, Sonnet can spin for 20 minutes trying to do something Fable can do in 2, and you're going to end up burning more tokens on the Sonnet model. Even though it's cheaper, it's going to cost more overall. So 40% cost in the tokens for Sonnet compared to Opus. It's probably 20% compared to Fable. If it takes 10 times longer to do something, those 20% tokens are still going to cost more than Fable just knocking it out right away for you. That's a diatribe. I'm not sure that's going to stay in or get cut if it makes sense. But I'm going to select Fable here because Fable's a beast and it'll get what I'm trying to do pretty quickly. Extra. So this is how much time it spends thinking about the problem you give it. And more isn't always better. So if you want an instant answer, if you put it on effort low, Fable will spit out an answer really quickly. It'll also be kind of dumber because it didn't spend enough time thinking about it or didn't spend as much time thinking about it. If you do something like Ultra Code, it'll think a lot. It'll spin up subagents. It'll really work through the problem you have. And you might think, I'll just always use the smartest version of the most thinking that the AI model can do. That's cool until you're what is 2 plus 2? And then Fable 5 on Ultra Code spends 5 minutes thinking about it, really thinking through what I meant by that question, as opposed to if I had Fable on low and I asked it what 2 plus 2 is, it'll spit it out instantly. So know how complex a problem you're trying to do is, and choose the appropriate model like strength and the model reasoning. So model strength being like the actual model you select. Like if you're asking 2 plus 2, Sonnet 5 will do that in a second. It'll be really cheap. If you're trying to spin up a fully automated process where you're doing competitor research, then you're going to want Fable and probably on a smarter reasoning level. So for this one, we're going to do effort extra, and we're going to start talking through exactly what we want. So in this example, so I want to build a daily automation for a small business owner in Durham, NC. Let's do small HVAC business owner. Small HVAC business owner in Durham, NC, where the automation goes and scrapes relevant information about what is happening in the area, what competitors are doing, and anything that the business owner would need to know to help their business succeed. I spelled succeed wrong. Succeed. Help me think through what all information should be scraped and what should be in the automation. This will run in GitHub Actions, so design it for that. Okay, so I see people struggling with like overthinking the prompts they give Claude. These models are like fairly smart now, and you don't really have to like handhold them as much. Just give them as much information as you have about the problem you're trying to do. So if you're an HVAC owner in Durham, North Carolina, tell them that. Be descriptive about like what you're trying to do. Like, hey, I just want to make my business better. I think a daily email to myself with all the relevant info that hits my inbox at 8 a.m. would be helpful. Help me think through how to do that. And then the last piece I put in there is GitHub Actions. And what that is, essentially GitHub, the account we just made, it's 1, a place to store code, 2, a place to collaborate with others, and then 3, a really easy way to automate things for free for you. So if you have like a private repository, like in all repository is the folder of code. So if you have your own project working in GitHub and you want to run daily for you, you get like 2,000 minutes of server time for free a month. And what that means, like, let's say you make an automation that takes half an hour to run all the way through. Like it's going and grabbing information from online, it's grabbing weather data, it's grabbing competitor data, it's doing all that cool stuff. And if it takes half an hour for it to run, you do that every day, it's like 900 minutes of like runtime a month. So it's like 30 days times 30 minutes, 900 minutes. And that's still only like less than 1/2 of your free allotment on GitHub with our actions. So you can do a lot of really cool stuff in there for essentially free. And we have Claude Thinking over here. Also, if it's your first time in Claude Code, this is called auto mode that I run on. And essentially, like early on, these AI models are pretty dumb and would like make pretty drastic mistakes. Like they delete code bases, they do all this stuff. And so what they would do is like they would make you approve every action and decision that Claude's making. So it's like, hey, I want to go to GitHub and set this up. Do you approve? Yes. Hey, I want to open up this file and write the stuff. Do you approve? Yes. And it got really annoying. You have to like click yes nonstop, and you stopped reading after like the 5th one because you started to trust the AI. And so what Anthropic did is they created like a new mode called auto mode. And essentially like auto mode isn't like auto approve everything that is not a destructive action. What that means is like it automatically approves everything unless it's going to delete a file. So this helps you avoid the problem of like accidentally deleting your database, or accidentally deleting something and really messing something up for you. So that's auto mode. Go ahead and flip onto that. It's probably on manual or accept permissions by default, which can be kind of annoying. So just go to auto mode and work off of there. Okay, what I need from you. So it spits out a lot of information. Yep, weather makes sense. Own Google reviews, competitor reviews. Helpful stuff here. Okay, lead sniffing, fantastic. All helpful stuff for an HVAC company. Okay, so what it's asking from me, competitor list, 5 to 10 names. So I'm going to answer these questions. 1, just grab 5 to 10 medium to small companies. 2, let's do email. 3, does it owner control the listing? No, don't worry about this. Python is fantastic. Okay, so it spun for like a minute 40 there before starting to reply. It was really thinking through what it's going to do, and that's what happens when you select one of these like higher reasoning efforts. Like this is just how long it's going to spend reasoning through the problem. Run extra, which is like up there. It's not quite max, and then it's definitely not ultra code, but it'll sit there and like it'll sit there and spin for a minute if you let it. And then a cool thing, like when Claude is running and doing all this stuff on its own, you can just go do something else. You can even have different instances of Claude open. So let's say I have this version of Claude doing this research for me. I can open up my PowerShell and launch another one just by typing Claude. It'll pop it open. It's a bit of a different interface than the desktop app. It's not as like intuitive for non-technical people. I am not inherently technical. I've just learned a lot in the last like year or so. But I can start doing other work and it'll do the same stuff. So you can do other stuff while it's running, check your email, get a coffee, anything else, and just like let this work on like the fairly complex project you gave it. Okay, let's see what we got here. So it ran for a while there. It says about 4 minutes here, and then the previous one was probably like 15 minutes of just actually writing all the code and figuring out how to do it. Still helpful stuff, so let's see what it's got. Yep, we're good. Built, live, test, and committed. Okay, what happened since you checked in? Live end-to-end test, pass control APIs, so forecast, that's cool. Building permits, geospatial stuff, rebate pages. Found some issues with the code, fixed them. What's in the repo, your main step, push to GitHub private line, add secrets, Anthropic keys, Google Space. Okay, so real quick, create an HTML of the outputs and then push to GitHub. Okay, so let's mention the Anthropic secrets, and what that is, essentially, you can insert AI into like any application that you create pretty easily. Not Claude.js, right? Claude platform. Let's go there. So what you do to make this work is you sign in with your account, and I will open up my other one real quick just to show Claude.ai. Claude platform. So you sign in, and once you sign in, it should look like this. So I'm going to show you how to get an API key, which basically just lets AI be inserted into the applications you create. So we do get API key. When we make one, like example, API key, hit create. So I'm going to have to destroy this one because like if anyone watching this video just grabbed the whole thing and tossed in their AI, it could work and you could build it to my account. So I'm going to destroy this one. But essentially what you do is you copy that. You tell Claude like, hey, I have an API key. I want to include it in here. So I'll jump back to the example repo. Okay. Hey, I just created the Anthropic API key. Open a file where I can just paste it into and use Fable as the brains in the API to run this. So I don't really want to go in the code myself and edit things. What I have Claude do is open up a file where I can just drop the API key directly in there, hit save, close it, and then Claude knows what to do to like actually insert that into the application and have it run. I will have to destroy that though. Literally, if anyone watched this, if you make an API key, don't share it with people unless you deeply trust them, because like people can run up thousands of dollars in charges. Like got $4 in there now, which isn't much. I don't have auto reload on either. And you can put limits on it so it doesn't spend too much, but someone can really, really mess you up if they have your API key. And a lot of people do that in bad faith. So don't save API keys directly in GitHub. Have Claude use secrets and stuff like that just to protect yourself and your wallet. Like, be really careful. It's essentially handing someone a credit card, like your credit card number with all the information all in one spot. So just be super careful. Open the HTML and open the file for me to drop the key in there. You can bully Claude into doing stuff for you. Same with like most AI. It'll be like, oh, just go ahead and do this. It's like, no, I want you to do that. And most of the time it can do it. It just likes to prompt the user to do stuff, which is pretty annoying. Okay, opening both now, Notepad for the key, and then HTML on your Chrome. Fantastic. Okay, so the Notepad opened up on my other screen. So essentially what you do, I copied that API key a little while ago. And then the Anthropic API key. So it's literally just asking for it here. I'm going to paste it in there. If I hit save, file, save, I'm going to close it. Open it up in Windows. That's the HTML. I just dropped the API key into Notepad. Okay, so I connected this to my consulting email. So it should be able to send it from my email to my email, which is pretty cool after it actually runs the full automation. So right now, this should live in GitHub. So let's hop in there and see if the repo's in there. GitHub. I wonder if we can easily see most recent commits. Okay, so I found the repo that we've been creating throughout this video. You can see it's very fresh, and the GitHub action should be running right now. So essentially what happens is Claude writes the code and makes these files and pushes it into GitHub, and it tells, like, usually creates a nice little README, which is basically just so you can understand what it's doing. So daily automated intelligence briefing with small HVAC business in Durham runs GitHub Actions. So you can see exactly what it's going to do in here. And if you want to actually look at the code it writes, you can do that too. So I've got briefings, index.html. It's a markdown file, so we'll store the markdown stuff in there. Let's go to source, the actual Python code it wrote. And it did all this throughout this video while I've been like talking and going over stuff. But it uses that code to run the automation, and yeah, then it'll use your email to send it to yourself, send it to other people. It's, yeah, really pretty easy to do once you just kind of know what to tell Claude to do. Let's jump back in there real quick. I wonder if we can see the GitHub Actions running. Let's see. Oh, yeah, initiated 2 minutes ago. 41 seconds. Is it done? Manually run. Interesting. View workflow file. Interesting. Usage. Okay. Well, should be running it again. Oh, and it actually came through my email. Awesome. Let me pull that up real quick. So, bam. Okay. Yeah, it actually picked it up today. Cool. Okay. So came through 3:17 p.m. from me to me. Weather and demand, leads and market. Yeah, really cool stuff. And the fun part is here, it's like super easy. Like, this is pretty basic. This is just a proof of concept, but you can really start to tweak it. Like, hey, I want to see these 5 competitors. I want them at the very top. I want to see X, Y, Z. And all you have to do that is to tell Claude what to do. So that, like, you just talk to it. Hey, fantastic email. Let's juice that up a bit with more information about potential leads. And then you just talk to it about what you want it to do. And once it says it's done, like, it'll make the changes locally to the code on your computer. And you say push to GitHub. And once you say push to GitHub, it's going to take the code on your computer, put it up in the cloud. And then when the GitHub action runs the next day, or if you want to test it, you can tell it to run it, push it manually, like to run the code manually. You'll see that change take effect. So if I went in here and I was like, I want this background, like, I want this to be like an HTML, I want like a PDF, like with all this information on it, I want it on a PowerPoint, it can do all that stuff for you You just have to talk to Claude and tell it what to do and how to do it. And then when you're done making the changes, say push to GitHub and it'll do it. Okay, I'm going to go kill that API key though, just so someone doesn't try to steal my AI credits and charge my credit card. Yeah, that cost 10 cents of AI. That wasn't anything crazy. API keys. I have several example API keys. Deleting. So that one's dead. But helpful example of like what you can do with Claude. This whole video was me recording for like 56 minutes. And it'll probably take a little bit longer the very first time you do this, just so you have to set up your Git, your Python, your Node, all that stuff, hook up your email. But once it's done, it's a one-time thing. And like you can create stuff like this. You can have your own custom AI intelligence. You can have like lead getters. There's a ton of stuff you can do. You can like have it monitoring like what governments do, like your local government, so you can know if like there's any changes happening. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. There's a ton of power here. So I hope this is helpful. 57 minutes start to finish there. Claude ran for about 25 of those, maybe 30. And when it's doing that, you can go do other stuff. Like you don't have to glue to your computer. You can like set it off, go do something else, and then come back and check on it. But super powerful, daily automations. I hope that was helpful. Demystify how to do this whole thing. Again, remember, set up your Claude account, download the desktop app, use code, install Git, Python, Node, GitHub CLI, make a GitHub account, and just tell Claude to start pushing these things to GitHub Actions for you. And if you want to incorporate AI, all you have to do is go get an API key from Claude or ChatGPT. And all this stuff we covered is all doable with ChatGPT too. It's just you'll use the ChatGPT desktop app versus the Claude desktop app, and same kind of thing. But yeah, super easy. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, please share with someone else. Thank you.